Hey y'all, welcome back to My Sister Cooks. And despite the fact that I am covered in flour because I have been baking all day, this video is about vegetables and it is inspired by some of my favorite YouTubers who have been harvesting a lot in the last couple weeks, including my good friends at Mad Acre Farms in Iowa. I'm really heavily inspired about their journey in learning and growing their farm. So while these vegetables are not farm to table, I hope one day to be able to cook farm to table. These vegetables are from the supermarket, but nonetheless, I hope to inspire people. If you're farming and harvesting vegetables, or if you're out there in the supermarket and want to include more vegetables in your diet, hopefully these dishes will inspire you to try something new or put a new spin on an old dish that you've been making. So this is what we're working with for these 5 meals. This is going to get me 5 meals. I have couscous, which I've never had before. This was my first time. I have some lasagna. I have squash, tomatoes, different cheeses. I have a cabbage in there, some spinach, some frozen vegetables. This was originally supposed to be a budgeting challenge, but I lost the receipt. That tends to happen a lot around these parts. So this first dish is a vegetable lasagna. I am using zucchini, squash. I have my bell peppers and onions and spinach and cheese. You can use whatever type of vegetables you like. I'm also using the oven ready lasagna noodles, which I find are perfectly fine. And just layer it like a regular lasagna. Now, what I like about this is the servings. I was able to get a lot of servings from this one pan. I gifted some to my coworkers, and I also had several lunches for myself during the week, and they freeze really well. And they hold up really, really well when you reheat them. My next dish was a black bean burger. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I have this texture thing with food. So what I do is I toasted my black beans first. I don't know. I think it helps with the texture thing. So I added some bell peppers in there. I have my onions in there. I have 3 nice size patties, and normally, or sometimes, well, the first time I did this, I put them in the oven, but I decided to put them in the pan with a little bit of oil. This time, brown them on both sides. And then there you have it. I did have that cabbage, so I made a nice slaw to go on top of this black bean burger, and these were really, really delicious. So I'm being really careful about using all of these veggies. So what I'm not using in one meal, I'm saving for the next meal, and even the smallest piece of vegetable is getting used. So this next meal that I made was a flatbread, a vegetable flatbread. So I do have some Italian dressing in there. That cheese was from a previous meal that I had in my refrigerator. And listen, you got to use things up. And I just layered it like a pizza, and I used the cheese as a binder. I sliced some red onions to put on top of it, and this really looked like a piece of art. I almost didn't want to eat it, but I did bust this down because it was really, really good. Look at that. It's so delicious. It's so good. The colors in here are beautiful. And like I said, I almost didn't want to eat it, but this was really good. My next meal is one of my favorite things to make. It is a fritter, a zucchini fritter. Like I said, I'm using every little bit of these vegetables. So I just had some flour, an egg, a little red onion, made a little batter, and I just fried these up in a pan with a little bit of olive oil, browned on both sides, and these also came out delicious. Fritters are one of my most favorite things to make, and I just love these vegetables, zucchini fritters. I made them on my Instagram before, so check me out over there for like a fuller recipe. And my next meal, like I said, I have never had couscous before, and so I thought today would be a good day to make the couscous. I'm going to use the rest of my zucchini and squash, and then I had that stir fry, that frozen stir fry, and I made the couscous, and I just made like a little bowl with this vegetable bowl and the couscous. And it was interesting. For my first time eating couscous, I really kind of liked it. Now this last meal was my favorite. It is the chickpeas, the curry chickpeas. I was kind of experimenting a little bit with this dish because I didn't have the cream that I needed, the heavy cream that I needed. Like I said earlier, this was supposed to be like a budgeting video, so I didn't want to spend like $5 on a half a gallon of cream. So I threw this cream cheese in there. I threw the rest of that cream cheese in there, and I seasoned this up really well. I have to get this recipe together because this was really good. I threw the kale in there with the chickpeas, and this was by far my favorite dish. And I plated it up with the rest of that flatbread because I was not wasting anything. And I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed eating all of my veggies. I really did bust this burger down, this black bean burger down at my desk. It was so messy and it was so good.